Assalamu alaikum, fam. Hope you're doing well. So, we are continuing our reading of Tafseer, and you know what? It's been highly beneficial. I've gained a lot of knowledge from it. What's great about this is it has the Arabic, it has the Quran, obviously, right? Better. And then also this explanation for us so that we can help see the scholar's perspective, but also our own perspective, and it just enriches our overall experience in gaining knowledge. So if you haven't purchased one yet, I highly recommend you do it. Inshallah, before I die, I will be able to read many tafsir volumes. So never stop learning. I love it so much. Okay, let's go. We're on number 207. But there are others who would sell their souls to earn the pleasure of Allah, and Allah is most compassionate towards His slaves. These are the ones who are guided, who have sold their souls regarding them as cheap, and has given them up in order to seek the pleasure of Allah. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, usually in American culture, when you say sell your soul, they mean in terms to the devil. Selling your soul to the devil is seen as dangerous. So I wonder if a different translation, I'll probably have to get my other Qurans to see if they use the same language as sell, right? Ransom, sell, different connotations, right? But indeed, it makes you wonder. And in the hope of His reward. So basically, Allah is, because soul implies purchase. Allah purchasing your soul. But if a purchase implies need, but I would argue Allah is free of need. So Allah need not purchase you. You're a slave, even though a slave can be purchased. But a slave cannot sell themselves because a slave have a master, and the master is the only one who can sell us. And since Allah is our master and we are slaves to Him, I wonder how that would work. But again, I still get the point of it, but I'm just saying. They have paid the price to the one who owns everything and who fulfills His promises. So paid the price to the one who owns everything. Allah owns everything. Everything's in His dominion. Allah puts a term on everything, the expiration date on everything, and sets its price. It's very interesting phrasing here. And is most compassionate towards His slaves. By His compassion and mercy, He has guided them to that, and He will fulfill His promise. So He's guided us to His compassion. Allah fulfills His promises, and the promises that several of them are the Day of Judgment, right? We will only be requited for what we used to do, for what we've put forth in this world, and that we're all going to return to Allah. That's a promise, right? So we have, and if you do good deeds, you have the hope of mercy. You have the option of mercy. That is, you're not guaranteed to get it, but it's a promise that you might be pardoned, right? You have the ability to ask Allah for such guidance, and you have the ability to be spared by Allah's grace. So that is a promise. Allah fulfills His promise. Allah has purchased from the believers their lives and their wealth, in return for which paradise will be theirs. At-Tawbah 9:111. So Allah has purchased from the believers their lives and their wealth. So we were created to worship Allah alone. So basically Tawheed. And whatever we give in this world, giving Allah a goodly loan, He'll account us for it, and our charities will help in every way we use our wealth towards Allah. Allah's approved halal means, well, that is going to add to us even more. So our wealth is not necessarily ours. It was bestowed upon us by the most beneficent. So if we look at our money like that, it could definitely help us. To the end of the verse, In this verse, Allah tells us that they have sold their souls and given them away. And He tells them of His compassion, which dictates that they should attain that which they were seeking and hoping for. So He tells them of His compassion, and that compassion, from my understanding, is related to His mercy and the ability for us to be guided, fulfilling of His promises, that we allow, well, Allah is already, we don't allow Allah to do anything, but we tell ourselves and we acknowledge and believe that we are purchased, and that our lives belong to Allah and our wealth belongs to Allah. And in exchange for that, the suffering we endure, the patience, the sabr, the way in which we use our funds and such, we will be requited for that, accounted for that, which will then help us to be in the line of mercy when it comes to Judgment Day. And an option and an ability to strive for paradise. It's very, very thought-provoking. So after this, do not ask about what they will receive from the most generous and what they will attain of victory and honor. The most generous. So generosity has the currency tone to it. You must have bounty in order to be generous. And if Allah, as we know, is the most bountiful, all bounty comes from Him, and Allah loves those who do good, the doers of good. And by doing charity and by using our wealth good, we are incurring Allah's compassion upon us and incurring Allah's mercy and not His wrath. So when we look at our lives, we can look at it in a way of that. I think it would definitely help. So the most compassionate, the most generous, and Allah fulfills His promises. Very thought-provoking. Hope you enjoy, fam.